If you just joined us, you're late. They've left without us.
Father,
Home
please.
Alone? Believe it or not, I'm just like you, and I've always wanted to be in a cult. I've always preferred the idea of starting my own cult rather than being part of one.
I've been involved in a number of cults, both as a leader and a follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
But I just love the idea of being in a cult, right? Like they all have something crazy special to offer. I mean, like Jonestown had Kool-Aid. The Manson family, they sang songs.
Bring on the young perfection, for there must will surely be no cold pain, fear, or hunger. You can't see, you can't see, you can't see.
Waco, they had but you know what none of them had? None of them have aliens, though, right? How many cults can you think of that have aliens in them? I mean, there's Scientology, in my opinion. In my and many other people's opinion, Scientology is a cult. They got aliens, allegedly. You know, they're not. It's not the same thing, right? It's not. It doesn't have the pizzazz of a good cult. Do you know what it does? Probably the first cult to have an official website. I'm talking Heaven's Gate. Way back in 1974, Marshall Applewhite and his wife, Bonnie Nettles, started the Heaven's Gate cult. I'm not going to go into much details here. I'm not an educator. Go to YouTube, find a video after this one, that'll tell you all about the Heaven's Gate cult. I'm just going to give you the important notes. In 1974, they came up with this idea that there's aliens. They're going to come and get us and pick us up from Earth here and take us away in their spaceship to the final afterlife. It's going to, the alien heaven. We're going to go to alien heaven. They're going to come and they're going to pick us up, beam us up. I don't know exactly. Go onto their spaceships, take us to heaven. And people started believing them. They had followers. Then I think it was in the 80s, Bonnie died. And now that kind of contradicts, because they were saying that, they're going to come and get us. And we're going to go into the spaceship, like our whole bodies. Now she's dead. Well, no, it's okay though. Because you know how I was saying that the aliens are going to come and get us? Well, what I meant was they're going to get our spirits. We're not our bodies. Did I say body? You must have misheard me. I didn't say we were going to go whole body. I said we were going to just go in spirit form. Forget about what you heard. Don't worry about it. They're coming for us. And then in 1997, something great happened. A comet came from the sky. I mean, it didn't come into the Earth or anything, but a comet is going pretty close by Earth. And I'm not talking Halley's Comet. Fuck you, Halley's Comet. No one gives a fuck about Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet ain't got shit on the comet I'm talking about. Because you know what Halley's Comet didn't have? Didn't have a spaceship behind it. The only one that has a spaceship behind it is the comet Hale-Bopp. And the comet Hale-Bopp came by in 1997 with a spaceship behind it. And the spaceship was going to pick up everybody from Earth and bring them to the afterlife. And I'm kind of pissed because I was 11 years old and I wasn't invited. Here I am. I got both my testicles and I'm not on a spaceship. And you're like, well, what does this testicles matter? Because that is the other thing. They all cut their nuts off. There was only a limited number of seats on the spaceship. And if everybody's fucking, there's not going to be enough room on the spaceship. Everybody needed to chill on the fucking, so they cut their nuts off. I don't know about the women. Maybe they stitched them up. Probably not. I would have probably heard about that. But either way, here I am. I'm on Earth. I'm intact. It's bullshit, really. Thanks a lot, Dad. Could have been on a spaceship. Again, I'm not here to give a crazy history lesson, but the comet went by, and then one day the news broke. They'd done it. The fucking crazy sons of bitches done it.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
And the reason they found out was like, there was some of the guys were a little unsure about everything. Now, I think they went away. I think those guys went ahead with the ball snipping. I think that part was cool with them, but they got to like the, okay, now we all kill ourselves. And they're like, hold up, what? Didn't you say earlier that the spaceship was coming to get us? Why do we, if we're dead, we're not going to be able to get on the space? And the guy was like, no, it's cool. They're going to get our spirit. And they're like, I don't know about this, man. And so they just didn't show up for the mass suicide. And what they did was they called the police. And the police went to do a welfare check or something. I don't know exactly. But they found a bunch of people. Because they showed up. And they were all there in their white Nikes and robes or whatever. And they were dead. They were just dead. Now, spiritually, they might be on a spaceship, right? I don't know. I do think it's crazy. They started with one thing, right, where they're gonna just get picked up and put on a spaceship, or beamed up or whatever, right? And then years down the line, it's just like, all right, everybody, we gotta like kill ourselves, and everybody's like, okay. Like, could you imagine if the Pope came out and was just like, all right, guys, Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming. And he said, he just called me last night and he said, you guys got to cut your nuts off. First off, if he shows up and there's a single testicle, Jesus is going to lose his shit. Jesus needs you to cut your nuts off. And also, before he gets here, you got to kill yourselves. Look, I know it sounds crazy, and we've said probably a few times not to, but this is one of those tests from God. Now you have to do it. Everybody would just be like, what the fuck's wrong with the Pope? I think we picked the wrong Pope. I mean, some people would definitely still do it, but I'm not really here to talk about the cult itself, more or less. I wanted to talk about the fact that they still have a website. They are one of the first cults that I know of to have an official website, because this was 1997. The internet was still relatively like new to a lot of people. We were still just getting used to it. And they came out with this website that looks like it's straight out of like GeoCities or Angel Fire or something. But it's as far as I know, it's not. As far as I know, they use like Front Page Editor or something to make it. Back in the day, Front Page Editor was this like program for making websites, and if you knew HTML and stuff, it was a great program. But because like they didn't really teach anybody how to use it, a lot of people just hated it. But it was okay, you know. But either way, I'm assuming they used Front Page Editor to make this site. And I don't know who the original domain was hosted by. I tried to look at it a little bit. I'm not here to deep dive too much. I just want to look at the website. But it's registered now to HostGator. But HostGator didn't exist in 1997, so I don't know who the original host of the website was. The company, it's right now, the website is owned by something called Perfect Privacy LLC. Now, I'm not 100% if they're doing that on behalf of like maybe the surviving people that didn't kill themselves. It expires in December, and it expired like there, and it was renewed last year. It expires in December of this year, so they're only doing it like a year at a time and all that. So I'm not sure if they're doing it on behalf of somebody or if they just are doing it on behalf of themselves, because from what I've seen, people don't really like the company. But again, I don't really want to deep dive too much into that. I just want to look at the website. Wikipedia says it's like some of the surviving members of the cult. But I think if you miss the spaceship, you're out of the cult. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe they're gonna come back around at some point. But I feel like if you miss the spaceship, you're gone. You're just all right. So here we are. This is exactly how the website was in 1997. You can see the really bad clip art, the colors, everything about this page screams 1990s. Red alert. This was one of the last things that they, I think, added to the website before they killed themselves. So they added this red alert part, kind of blocking it here, but it says Hail Blop brings closure to Heaven's Gate. As was promised, the keys to Heaven's Gate are here again in T and Doe. That's Marshall and Bonnie, the UFO too, as they were in Jesus and his father 2,000 years ago. Whether Hail Blop as a companion or not, it is irrelevant from our perspective. Hold up. No, it's really relevant because the companion that they're speaking of is the spaceship. Hail Bob was just the comet. Behind it was the companion, which is the spaceship. It's very relative. You need that spaceship to be there. What if they picked the wrong comet? What if it was actually Halley's comet and they missed it? However, its arrival is joyously very significant to us at Heaven's Gate. The joy is that our older member in the environment evolution is that our older member in the evolutionary level above human, the kingdom of heaven, has made it clear to us that Halebop's approach is the market we've been waiting for, the time for the arrival of the spacecraft from the level above human to take us home to their world in the literal heavens. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to conclusion. Graduation from the human evolutionary level. We are happily prepared to leave this world and go with Ty's crew. If you study the material on this website, you will hopefully understand our joy and what our purpose here on Earth has been. You may even find your boarding pass to leave with us during this brief window. So if we read through enough of this, we might be convinced that we should have killed ourselves back in 1997. And then we're going to have to build a time machine and go all the way back in time to go back to 1997 without any testicles. Get some white Nikes. What if we show up with the wrong brand of Nikes, though? Like, or the wrong kind of Nikes, though? We are so very thankful that we have been recipients of this opportunity to prepare for the membership in their kingdom and to experience their boundless caring and nurturing. If their shit's so different, then how is preparing for it here on Earth doing that? You know, if everything's so different. Like, I don't know. I'm very confused. And so far, everything I've seen and read here is like just typical, like something me and my friends would have made for our websites and stuff, like some bullshit made up lore that we just thought of on the spot. That's all this sounds like. There's keys or bookmarks to vital information on their website. Doe's intro, their purpose, simple and bottom line. It's an excerpt from their book, Heaven's Gate, which we can probably buy on this website, I'm assuming. Well, that is a lot of reading, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. What is our purpose? The simple bottom line. 2,000 years ago, a crew of members of the kingdom of heaven who are responsible for nurturing gardens determined that a percentage of the human planet. Now, this again, this is like been adapted after Bonnie died. A member of the kingdom of heaven left behind his body in that next level similar to putting it in a closet. So they're just, they didn't kill themselves. They just left their bodies in the closet so they could go in the spaceship dressed appropriately. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Jesus and biblical shit. Again, it goes. Look, oh my God, right below me here. Our mission is exactly the same. I am in the same position to today's society as was the one that was in Jesus then. My being here now is actually a continuation of that last task as was promised to those who were students 2,000 years ago. So this man is legitimately claiming to be in like Jesus again. What is with cult leaders that they need to just be claim to be Jesus instead of like my guy, you have your own good thing with spaceships and stuff. You don't need Jesus. You can sell it pretty good. Here, it's actually kind of similar to Scientology in like the vessels and our souls being alien things being held here on Earth. It's kind of similar, allegedly. But there's just a lot of junk here. Definitely a lot more Bible references. So it's just like a bunch of excerpts from their book. There's a statement from an ET presently incarnate. What? This is from 1995, although it was slightly edited January of 1997. I don't know why they did it. It's like a statement, but it's done in bullet point form here. That first one's too long. I'm not reading all this shit. They brought to Earth with us a crew. So it's like a statement from an actual alien that was there for all of this, I guess. Other crews from the level above human preceded our arrival and tagged, placed a deposit chip in each of the vehicles that we would individually incarnate into. Therefore, the deposit task at each visitation includes deposits with programs for returnees who are still. I feel like this is to help make people feel a little better about anal probing. They were hearing news stories about anal probing, and they're like, "Look, we don't know if it's the same aliens. Like, let's just roll with it. What if they probe us? Let's just tell them that it was part of the thing. That's how they got the chips in us. How do you think? Of course, it goes in your butt. Humans in any given time they're just observing stuff. I thought this was an alien statement. This is supposed to be like gospel. Get that. Those with deposit souls who are not in the classroom nor in a direct relationship with the representatives from the level beyond human, having not been confronted with the information and the reps, or have been confronted but chosen not to pursue. So now I feel like this is now where we are, because we have soul. Or what if we don't have deposits? Do we or don't we? Is there a deposit in my butt? It's a very long statement. ET phoned home, and gave a tell-all interview. So look, you can get an overview of their present mission, which is again from a book. It's from their book, but it's a student paper, so it's not going to be the best. It's going to be flawed. It's from the students. We're not going to read that because I'm not reading all of this. This is insanity. But to access their book online in its entirety, how and when Heaven's Gate may be entered. This is the whole book. Exit statements right to at the end. Early classroom materials. So this was like the early stuff when they thought they were going to go full body, and then they updated after the missus died. Is the new one, and then they just have the transcripts here. They had I remember these videos if they're what I'm thinking of. USA Today ad and a statement. They put this they put this in USA Today. I love this bottom part. Caution, if the above information is consumed or assimilated, you may experience such side effects as loss of marriage, family, friends, career, respectability, and credibility. Continued use could even result in the loss of your membership in the human kingdom. Public meetings in 94, students in biblical quotes. They use the Bible. Here's how they got the Bible on their side, transcripts of their other videos. So now here's their position against suicide, knowing what happened to them after everything. This is an odd take. Also, hold on. They cite Ruby Ridge in Waco, Texas here. Um, so they're against suicide, but at the same time, that's how they that's what they did, right? That's oh shit. Now let's learn what the aliens might look like. I have no words. I just have joy. This this brings me so much joy. Oh my god. This is the best page on their whole website. This is their best. This is the best part. Earth exit statements by students. So is that suicide letters? Is that what that is? Suicide note? Chocdies? Naughties? Did, hold up. We get alien names and Austin. This is a different. That's slightly different. Yeah, alien names. If we join this cult, we get an alien name. What was those are definitely March 19th, 1997. These are their suicide notes, right? Exit press release. So this was after they're dead. Straight up, this is March 22nd, 1997. This was their statement to be released to the news about what just went down. By the time you've read this, we suspect that the human bodies we were wearing have been found and that a flurry of fragmented reports have begun to hit the wire services. For those who want to know the facts, the following statement has been issued. So this was their like, hey, we're on a spaceship. See you guys later. This is wild because they put all this on the website and just like let it there. They were still alive when they first put this on. They didn't just like do this the last second. They had other things they had to do. So this was live on the internet for a while, but because like how many there's no click counter. That's how you know it's not GeoCities or Angel Fire. We would have put a guest book and a click counter to know how many people had been to the website. Yeah, you can get a book. We can get a copy of their book through teleservices. Ooh, you can even get it in German. I want to buy the book. It's just the book online. Like it's just online. That's it. You can't actually buy the book. Well, you can get a hard copy. Sorry, I'm wrong. You can get a hard copy of the book. Maybe ordered through this service. I don't know that it's. There's like a page of interesting links. One of them is just the secret government. Hold up. The UFOconspiracy.com. I'm going to guess a lot of these websites are different from what they were at the time. So there's a lot to this website, and I don't have the time or the sanity to go through it all, because if I do, I'm definitely cutting my dick off and trying to get on the next spaceship out of this fucking place. If we leave now, we might be able to catch up. We just got to get better technology. We might be able to do it. Elon, I know me and you don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I think we can see eye to eye on this one. We need to catch up to Comet Hale-Bopp and send you home. Okay, buddy? Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you want to start a cult with me? That would be really cool. Let's start a cult together. Leave some comments about it. We'll brainstorm. We'll get this. Leave some comments. Like, subscribe, all the stuff that helps with the algorithm. Let's do it. Let's go start a cult, guys. I got a needle and thread. I